Have you ever seen the big red and white cows grazing with the Holsteins in the pastures? These red and white cows are red and white Holsteins. And I'm going to tell you some history about them. A long time ago, in the early 16 and 1700s, the majority of cattle were red and barely any were black and white. In many paintings, there are only red cattle. When they started shipping cattle over, they only sent black and whites because they didn't like the red and whites, but they liked the black and whites because they were different. The examiners on the boats would not let any cattle on that had red-brown spots bigger than 4 inches in diameter. One of the cows they sent over was Clothhead. Clothhead was selected because she showed great promise and would freshen soon after they arrived. Little did they know Clothhead was a red carrier. She passed it to her calves and their offspring. As a 6-year-old, Clothhead produced 26,021 pounds of milk, abolishing all records previously made. Clothhead never had a bull, but she passed her milk production traits and her red traits to her 7 daughters. Clothhead is found in many pedigrees. Later, in the early 1900s, there was a bull named Sir Income. Sir Income was a red carrier and one of the most popular sires back in his time. Sir Income is known as the washing machine bull. He is known as the washing machine bull because the Maytags wanted their cow to be bred by Sir Income before he went to Philadelphia to be sold. So before he went to be sold, the Maytags traded a washing machine to have their favorite cow, Princess D. Ormsby, to be bred. Sir Income was sold to Carnation Farms for $12,000. That was a lot of money back in the day. Sir Income was passed his red carrier gene to his offspring. He shows up many times in almost all red and white Holsteins pedigrees. Clothhead shows up in Sir Income's pedigree too, a couple of times. Sir Income lived up to 21 years of age. Sir Income is to be thought that the one who brought the red factor to Carnation Farms, but it was found that the red factor was soon established after this farm was started in 1915. Carnation Farms has had many red and whites, and the majority of them sired by Sir Income. By the early 1930s, Sir Income had 20 daughters at Carnation Farms. One of the bulls at Carnation Farms was Ridgewood Citation R. Ridgewood Citation R was the grand champion bull at the National Red and White Show held in Waterloo, Iowa. Carnation Farms has a big part of the red and white Holstein history. In 1964, the Red and White Dairy Cattle Society was established on April 17th, and in 1966 they changed the name to Red and White Dairy Cattle Association. Some of the founders of the Red and White Dairy Cattle Association were Larry Moore, Elmer Carpenter, and many more. Larry Moore had been breeding red and whites since the mid-1940s, and Elmer Carpenter strongly believed in the red and white Holsteins' future. In 1981, the Wisconsin Red and White Dairy Cattle Association was formed, and in 1995, the board of directors approved the true type red and white cow model created by Bonnie Moore. The demand for red and white Holsteins is getting bigger and bigger, especially polled ones. At the World Classic sale in 2013, a red and white polled heifer sold for $131,000. Red and whites are bringing top dollar nowadays. The red and white Holstein also looks to be leading in the polled gene. People like the polled gene because it saves time from having to burn or put paste on horns. Red and white Holsteins are going to have a really bright future. The first red and white to classify 97 is Baldwin Redmond Sizeme Red. Sizeme has done well in the show ring over the years. Another great red and white cow is KHW Regiment Apple Red. In 2013, at World Dairy Expo, Apple was selected Reserve Grand Champion behind her clone, KHW Regiment Apple 3 Red, as Grand Champion, and Apple's daughter was honorable mention. KHW Regiment Apple is known very well in the dairy industry. Other exceptional red and white Holsteins are Lavender Ruby Rose Red, Pheasant Echo Turvy Red, and Strang's-Gen D Tequila Red. There are so many great red and white Holstein families and much more history. I could talk for hours. I've gotten my information from the books written by brown uses, red and white reflections, and they saw red. Thank you for letting me tell you the history of the red and white Holstein. Any questions?